Hi guys, Cargrash here, and today I thought I'd finally kind of show off the watercolor paints I managed to make. I know I kind of made a video kind of going over them, and I made a video showing how I made them, or how I've been kind of making mine. I don't think I ever swatched them on camera for you guys, so I figured I'd do that today. I'm still learning. I'm still kind of figuring it out, and I know there's a lot of people that have much better tutorials for like making your own and stuff, and I'll link those down below. I think I did that the last time I uploaded anything on the subject. Unfortunately, a lot of the first couple watercolors I've made were made with a store-bought binder, so I don't really know how that particular binder is made, because it was the Winsor and Newton binder. Here, and some of them just haven't really aged well. I don't think I haven't used this one in a while, and this was one of the first ones. This was red raspberries, and I tried to precipitate out the pigment. Still gives a nice kind of color. Unfortunately, our water, at the time I didn't know that if you have any sort of like minerals in your water, that it might interact with the paint. So instead of having a nice kind of purple come out of red raspberries, I now have a brown, which I hope I can pick that up a little easily enough. Yeah, it's kind of like a nice tan kind of color. It's very light. I don't know how to strengthen the hue. That's not the word I want. I want to make it have a bit more color to it, but I don't know how. I know that you're supposed to like mull them for better effect, but mulling kits online are super expensive, so I'm gonna hold off on that, because I believe I've seen a few advertised on Amazon for like $200, something like that, and I don't have that kind of money. Pretty sure most people, I mean, I guess some people have that kind of money where they can just spend. Right, this guy is black beans. If you soak black beans in, I think it's just water. I don't think it has to be hot or cold, but if you soak black beans overnight, they release a blue pigment. And I unfortunately, since I was, wanting to get as much as I could out of it, I've added chalk to this, which is why it's like kind of like a cool gray. It's a little bit like a stormy blue. And if I had, I don't know, stopped and prepped ahead of time, put some water on this before, maybe I could have got a bit more of that blue out of there, but still a nice cool gray color. I really like the color of it. I haven't painted much, so I don't really. And that's another thing. I need to actually get back into the whole art stuff. I've been trying to, and whether or not that's gonna amount to much, just me trying. But we'll see. You can always be hopeful, right? Alright, now this abomination. This is actually, this was red raspberries after I figured out, you know, not to use our water, the tap water, for that sort of stuff. It gave a nice purple, but I wasn't satisfied with it because the first kind of wash of purple was kind of very pinkish, and I wasn't really much of a fan of that. So during the experiment with the black beans, one of the first rinses of color I got from the black beans was this super vibrant purple color. So I was like, you know, I'll just mix that in on top of the red raspberry purple, and now I got this nice, like, dark, vibrant purple, and I mixed it with, once again, some chalk, which is why it's kind of cloudy. It's still a beautiful color. The only problem is that I thought the chalk pieces would, you know, dissolve, kind of break up, whatnot. But apparently the white chalk you get, like the blackboard chalk, doesn't actually break down any. It just stays as chunks. So if you're gonna get that for, you know, adding it to paints, I would suggest not. Then again, the chalk I finally found online to purchase, the calcium carbonate, didn't exactly go too well either. It has its own downsides, so. Alright, this guy's a bit of a cheating color. I was curious if you could upscale or upcycle, you know, like ink if you weren't going to use it. And you can. Once again, I spliced in a little bit of chalk to try and get it to go a little farther. Give me a little more to work with. And it works. I think I said that in the first video I did. Yeah, if you're just like, I have these like kitty markers, but I'd rather have some nice paints instead. And you have, you know, the means, like, if you have some gum arabic or like to make some watercolors, you can do that. Totally can do it. Totally works. You don't even need the chalk. I can show you what I mean here in a little bit, but yeah, it's ink. Same thing kind of with these guys. It's a blue marker, yellow marker, a red one. I'm not really going to mess with those today because they work just fine. Alright, now this is a bit of turmeric. I boiled some turmeric, and then once again, with this actually, I didn't actually use like the school chalk, I used the calcium carbonate. So I cooked up turmeric, made it release that nice kind of golden color. Then I strained it to get the actual turmeric out. And then I poured it over some calcium carbonate, and it gives you this nice kind of golden yellow. Now, from what I've heard, turmeric isn't very light fast, or at least like when it's applied to. Now, I guess it wouldn't be light fastness if it's applied to clothing, but from the people I've seen that use it for dye, it dyes clothes for a little while, then goes away. So I don't know how long that color would last, but it's a very nice kind of, you know, golden yellow. And since turmeric is so easy, I don't want to say it's super easy to acquire, but it's easy enough to acquire. It'll work pretty well. This... I believe, and it's been a while, so I believe this is the color I got from avocados. Let me look that over. Yeah, this is me attempting to get color from avocado. Super grainy. I really need to mull this. But yeah, if you use sodium, I would have to look up the recipe again. But normally when you're like precipitating out pigment, you're using alum and something else. It's the something else that you mix the avocados with, and it gives you this kind of reddy brown. And then once and I mixed it, of course, after I got that nice red brown, I mixed it with chalk, which is why it's kind of, not see-through like normal watercolors. And apparently it doesn't sit well like that. After I mix it with chalk, I got the hard pigment, mix it with chalk, and now it's kind of clumping all together, which, once again, it might just be because I don't mull them. I know I need to. Or at least most people do, to get the best results. I was kind of hoping to not have to dip into that, but I might have to. Alright, let's see here. And this is this kind of color. Not this kind, but this color, I should say, is from walnut. I went outside, gathered up a whole bunch of walnuts. Back when the trees were kind of dropping them and critters were cracking them open, get inside. Just went out, got some of the shells, boiled it up, there, and it gave me this like very nice tan color. Let me see if it. Now that I got a few colors on the page, give me one moment, guys. I'm gonna try and fix the lighting on the screen. There we go. Just had to adjust the camera's saturation, I guess. Everything looks a little closer to what it's supposed to be. Alright, one last one from this set. Let's see. Oh yeah, this was me trying to go the other way with avocados, where I put alum in first, and then I guess it is sodium carbonate, because calcium carbonate is the chalk, sodium carbonate is the other, and it starts off this nice. The avocados start nice and kind of pinky purpley color. Then you add the sodium carbonate, and it just wants to go back to this. There's just no way about it. It starts pinky purple, you add the sodium carbonate, and then it wants to immediately go dark, kind of a brownish color, and it's just not nice. So if you're going to try and get color out of avocados, just accept that you're going to get like a reddy brown. Just doesn't matter the fact that you can get like nice pinky purples if you're wanting to use it for dyes. Unless somebody knows how to capture that kind of pink purplish color without losing it to the brown. Hold on guys, one moment. Open palettes here. Now, the ones I showed you were the older ones I have had for a while. And these are all newer ones. And I'm not saying that they're any better, but I'm working on it. These have been soaking for a while, so the color should be a little more readily available. Ooh, the camera's picking that up as like a green, but let me see if I can color correct to that, because that is not a green. Hold on. There we go. That's not too much better. It's a little better, not much. But this color is I was seeing if I could get some color from dandelions, which I now know is kind of not worth it, because I gathered 3 or 4 jars worth of dandelion heads, and then I let them soak out in the sun to try and get the color out of them, kind of in a tea method. And it gave me a little bit of yellow. I strained out all the the pollen and whatnot, and it gave me a tiny itty bitty little bit of yellow, so it's really not worth your time doing that. And then I went and got some rosemary, and I know rosemary will boil to a nice like yellow color, and I added that to the dandelion. So this is kind of a mix of dandelion and rosemary. The only problem is it doesn't look pleasant. I don't know why the camera's picking that up as green. It's very much a yellow. Either way, it's not the nicest thing. Works really well though. I have tried just rosemary on its own, and it gives a very nice, beautiful yellow color. So I mean, if you're needing a yellow, you can always do that. Actually, not really sure what I did with my. Alright, I powdered it, and I haven't done anything with the powder yet. Need to do something with the powder. Alright, now this was more black beans. I was trying to get more blue, and it went brown. So now it's not really a brown, but it's a warm gray. That's the word I want. Warm gray. Luckily, it's actually coming up on the camera pretty well, but yeah, it's a nice little warm gray, works really well. I do have to mix it pretty hard in here, and I'm using just these little silicone cups, so that way, you know, as I'm using up the watercolor, I can peel it off of there pretty nicely, and I have to, you know, keep using just little plastic ones and just reuse these guys. And save the environment a little bit while I'm experimenting. Or at least try to. Do what I can while I'm kind of tearing into plants for color and all that stuff. Alright. Now this is my not cheating green that I actually made from there's some pink flowers growing off of a tree out back. And I was trying to capture just the lovely pink color that they had. So I put just I boiled the flowers, got the nice pink color. I put it in a container, and then I was like, well, I don't really want to put the sodium or the calcium carbonate in there because it tends to color shift some things. So I didn't want to do that. So I just put the gum arabic in because I've seen that you can do that. You can just straight up put the binder in the color and kind of keep it. And that kind of looked like what was going to happen. The stayed nice and pink, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna have a nice kind of pinky red color. And then it sat drying out and turned green. So if someone wants to explain that one to me, that would be wonderful. But as you can see, it's a nice, lovely green color, kind of like a neon green. Especially on camera, it's a little more yellow on camera. I don't know what this camera's deal is with shifting my colors. I might have to work with that a little bit more. But yeah, it's a nice, lovely green, and it dries and as a nice, lovely green. But yeah, did not expect that out of the pink flowers. All right. This here is I forget if it was blackberries or blueberries. I want to say this was the blackberry mixture. So I've been trying all the different berries to try and get different colors. And I forget if this was the blackberries and the other thing here is the blueberries, or if it's vice versa. But it's a nice stormy blue-gray. I want to say that this was blackberries, and I mixed it with calcium carbonate, and as it was looking almost black, and then as it dried out, it got this nice kind of blue-gray, but you can kind of see that it's a much darker, cool-toned gray than the black beans. Almost, I think people call it a Payne's gray. See if I can get the. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, there's the colors so far, and see, it's a nice, almost a Payne's gray, I think. It's a very nice, lovely color. Alright, but last but not least, And I gotta kind of tell the origin of this a little bit, in that I was looking for an alternative to gum arabic, and just because it was seeming to kind of hard to find, at least in my area. I know you can get it online, but I didn't want to keep buying it online if I didn't have to. And as I was kind of mulling it over, thinking over, trying to figure out something I could use instead, while I was in at Walmart, I ran across some xanthan gum. Oh, it's doing the thing I wanted it to do. I wanted to show you guys that it looks very purple. Even like on camera, it looks very purple. In person, it looks very purple. Kind of a desaturated purple. The camera is very much brightening it up. One of these days, I will have the camera set exactly how I want it, and it will pick up the perfect colors. But until then, anyway, yeah, that looks like a nice purple, right? Yeah, let me. Whoop. Looks like a very nice, lovely purple, and I'm all happy for it. Problem is, it doesn't stay that way. it stays looking purple as long as it's wet, and then the moment it dries, it looks more akin to the black bean. So, like, you know, you paint something expecting it to stay that nice kind of purple, then all of a sudden it kind of goes that. There's still a tiny hint of purple, that it's like this with a tiny bit of red added to it or whatever, but yeah, it's not great. So if you're in a pinch and don't mind your colors being incorrect when you're painting with them, then sure, yeah, you can use xanthan gum or xanthan gum, XANTHAN, xanthan, or however you pronounce it. But yeah, you can use it to make watercolors, and it actually makes a lot of binder. I only used a little bit of binder in my experiment, but like I put the same amount in that I would normally put like gum arabic in, and it instantly jellified all the water that was in there into nice thick jelly, and there was still powder left over. So I was like, oh, right. So yeah, that's kind of the watercolors I got so far. Unfortunately, I don't have a red. I don't have a good way to get a red or a pink. I've been thinking about using beets, or trying to use beets and see if they'll give me a nice red or a pinky color that I can, use with everything else. Because I can sort of get a blue, and I know to get an actual blue, I need to get woad plants, which give you a nice deep dark indigo that you can then make into other shades of blue. And I know the best reds are still from, I forget the root, I think it's madder root, and I'm not sure what the best yellows come from, but so I sort of know what I'm doing, and it sort of works. I will say though, the easiest method, at least from what I've seen or what I've experimented with, is you get your dye like this, and you just straight up put the gum arabic in there, then you let it dry. It looks clear, It takes a little bit to activate. You have to put water in there and let it sit there for a little while to activate. You might have to scrub it with a brush, but it gives you a nice clean result. There isn't extra in there like with the calcium carbonate. Don't get me wrong. If you want a lighter color, you can most definitely use calcium carbonate, but you then would probably have to mull it. Yeah, that sounded weird to me, but yeah, you would have to grind it down and kind of mash it together a little better, which is another step that I can't take at the moment. I'm hoping to eventually be able to, but yeah. If you're just looking for nice single colors from things, make it into a dye, add gum arabic, let it dry out, boom, you have a color. And you don't have to worry about it separating and not sticking together like some of these do. But yeah, I know it's going to be kind of a shorter video, hopefully when I've edited it down, and I'll, cut out all the times I've had to pause. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the progress with the watercolors. I hope to eventually just straight up start using some store-bought watercolors to practice and get better with while I'm on the search for a red, an easy to acquire red. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all again next time. Goodbye.